Hi guys, welcome back to our video again. So in this video we are doing a short and express road trip up north. So we are heading to Ipoh and then Penang and then ultimately to Samaran Highlands. So we kickstart the journey through the night. So through the north-south highway we actually met a group of Singapore riders. We tried to say hi to this group of riders when passing by them. Then we continue to push on our journey from dusk till dawn, and we target to reach Ipoh by midday. So we cut through Selangor and KL, trying to avoid the peak traffic in the early morning. So we took advantage of being a bike using the right lane, left lane and also the shoulder lane to maintain speed. So after close to 6 hours of riding, we finally spotted this Ipoh sign on the hilltop. We exit out from the expressway and enter to Ipoh township. Finally reach Ipoh, heading to our lunch spot at this very famous spot. Where they mainly sell all this myong tofu stuff and also have a few quick bites on this peanut candy snack, which is really good. Thereafter, we went to check in our Airbnb and have an express nap before we move out to the famous area, which is the Taman Jubilee.
So this is the traditional store, and then inside you got a very modern kind of store.
So Ipoh is also famous for this salt-baked chicken. We tried to patronize the store that we used to go to, but it's closed, so we came to this one that offers similar tasty salt-baked chicken. We also discovered some very interesting like pad thai bun around here and a tea house. I think this has been here for a while. And if you walk around the Taman Jubilee, there's also a night market. Then we land ourselves for dinner at this famous chicken rice store, which they serve the local giant bean sprout, kway teow, and the steamed chicken, which are pretty decent. So the next morning we went out to find ourselves a breakfast spot. We came across town and met this very interesting group of local domestic tourists, pretty friendly. We came to this Hui Ji for their fish soup, which is really tasty, especially their meatball. And then we move on to our next destination. We make our way out from the Ipoh township and then we enter up back to the north-south highway. So we head up north again for another 150 plus kilometers up to Penang, entering through the Penang bridge, which the view is really stunning. So there are two bridges to access to the Penang island. So this is the older bridge. Very scenic view. We head out to the Airbnb and did our check-in. After unloading, being a very Singaporean kind of spirit, we went to look for shopping malls to get ourselves cooled down with the aircons and whatnot. We also helped ourselves with the free cider along the roadshow in the mall and bought ourselves some chendol as part of the cooling measures. Before we head back, have some rest before we head out again at night for our dinner and supper. For dinner, we came to this seafood restaurant where they serve live seafood. The food are not bad, but pretty touristy in terms of price, as we wasn't satisfied with the dinner, so we went around nearby to spot for some street food. With some local char kway teow, rojak and chendol just to fill our stomach. On the very next morning in Penang, of course, we will go for our food hunt again. So we came to this very local food court. We tried their carrot cake and noodles. No egg, duck egg. And this peanut pancake, where it really tastes good when it's piping hot. So while we are riding around the city, we realized that the smaller bike are really king, where they can easily squeeze through all the traffic to the front part where they have an allocated parking lot for motorcycle while waiting for traffic lights. And of course, the key highlight for this trip and for today is to visit the durian plantation, where you can eat the freshest durian which just fell off from the tree that very last night. So it took us some time to ride to this plantation. So before we came here, we actually made some durian reservation over WhatsApp the night before. So just to ensure that there's still inventory left for you when you are here. Of course, they are open for walk-in.
Okay.
So the expert mentioned that there's a star shape at bottom of a Musan King. We ordered a Musan King, a Blackthorn, and some other breed.
这是松鼠王，131公斤。
So we spotted a few durian sellers while we're on the way back. Because of that really hot day, we decided to drop by Starbucks to cool ourselves down with the aircon and a frappuccino. And we found the access to the beach through the real entrance of the Starbucks.
他在游泳诶，他在游泳。
And we took a stroll on the beach and found this shipwreck restaurant. Pretty interesting.
我跟你讲，它的职位穿什么制服？
And we decided to give it a try and order some steak for a quick snack. So we decided to move on to our next seafood dinner place, where it's located just along a beach. The seafood meal was simple, but not really satisfying. So we decided to head back to the city and look for some supper. At this street for some street food. And of course, not missing out trying this very famous Charcoal Char Kway Teow. The very next morning, we decided to head out to buy back some breakfast instead of heading out to eat. So we came to tapao this very famous local nasi lemak. The chili is really spicy. I really like the kick. I also get to try a Penang prawn noodle before we check out and head out of Penang to Cameron Highland. So we took the second and the newer Penang bridge out of the island to the mainland, and the view is equally stunning. We also spotted this interesting thing in the R&R. So with all the intermediate breaks along the way, we headed down south around 230 kilometers towards our next destination, Cameron Highland. So once you enter the B road, you will find there's a lot of heavy vehicles and a lot of bends and curves along the way. Depends on what kind of rider. You might find it fun, you might find it tiring. So to me it was fun until a section where you have heavy vehicle that you have to slow down. And you got no choice but to slow down your pace and just enjoy the scenery along the way. So when we enter the Cameron Highland main town, I was quite surprised. It was booming, quite crowded. I remember it wasn't like so busy when I was last here around 8-9 years ago. So there's even a shopping mall and a McDonald's right now. So we went to check in our Airbnb. We are lucky that right after we arrived, it starts raining heavily.
看到吗？它开始出烟了。
So we settled with a simple barbecue for dinner, and the next morning we head out to have some warm and hearty breakfast at this very local restaurant. We ordered some simple nyong tau fu and a curry noodle, very interesting kind of format, and a clay pot mee thai ba. Right after that, we head off to the wet market to check out some of the local produce. Because Cameron Highlands are famous for their vegetation, local produce. So we couldn't find what we are looking for, so we decided to head on to the next market. We were just trying luck to see what other stuff we can find here. Oh, 一定要用刀，全部帮我们切。哦，很像番石榴这样，好酸啊。So in this place, you will find some really interesting organic style kind of vegetables like carrot, radish, and white strawberries. So next stop we will head off to a very iconic location in Cameron Highland, which is the Highland Tea Farm. So the road condition there wasn't the best, but it's not as hardcore as you need a 4x4 or a dual sports to handle.
还有一棵树 I think 这棵树是出名拍照打卡。
Just that the pace is slightly slower, but eventually you will reach the car park of the Ipoh plantation, where they have dedicated motorcycle parking lot and ample space for car to park in. Thereafter, you will need to climb a really long flight of steps to reach up top to the cafe or the resting area. Other than the crowd, the place is pretty quiet, scenic, that you can really chill there. The cafe offers a very decent selection. After the tea plantation, we head back to take a nap before we head out to visit the shopping mall. It is an open concept layout which it takes advantage of the ambient cooling mechanism to keep the whole area cool. So this is one of a highly recommended hot pot place within the Cameron Highlands. We find it really normal, probably because there's lack of choices here up in the Highlands.
黑色的 Family Mart.
Approaching day 6, which is the final day of the whole trip, we decided to have a breakfast before we head down the Highlands. So we couldn't spot the motorcycle designated parking lot. We went to park our bike in the car lot instead. So this is the surprise we get after the breakfast. So this cafe is called the Lord Cafe, which is pretty hidden from plain sight.
Oh, 在2楼啊。
It's located at second level. Pretty interesting homemade stuff, especially the hash brown that looks like a pie. So after the breakfast, we will make our way down the Highlands. So along the way, you still get your scenic view, your curves and bends all around. However, do take note that you will not be able to find RON 97 widely because we got rejected by Petronas. And then finally, we found this shell. After filling the tank, we continued our journey and passed by this really interesting waterfall. Seems like it's pretty crowded here. There's some tourist activity going on. Thereafter, we will just continue with all the curvy and tiny roads, which leads us to the expressway, which was quite busy with all the heavy traffic and roadworks. Thereafter, we enter a stretch where we can really pick up speed in the North-South Highway. By then it's already noon and the weather is really hot. So we decided to go for a detour to Seremban because we always heard of this Seremban Tashu Bun, but we have never ever been to that old school store where this Tashu Bun is being originated or being made famous. So apart from the famous Tashu Bun, they offer other biscuits and bread. Because it's freshly made, so they will only do it by batches whenever you order. Until that single batch is sold out, then they will move on to make the next batch. So while waiting and killing time, we spotted this really funny pigeon. After around 20 minutes of wait, finally our batch is out. It tastes really good when it's piping hot. And because it's almost dinner time, so we decided to head to this nearby noodle store to have our dinner before head down south again through the North-South Highway back to Singapore. It's pretty common to spot all these motorcycle accidents along the highway, so as a rider, do ride safe and take cautious about the surrounding vehicles, especially those heavy vehicles with a lot of blind spots. With the determination that we have to reach back Singapore before midnight, we continue to push through the journey through the night. So of course when we are riding at night, the light condition is not optimal. Then we have to be more focused and pay more attention to the road and environment. So after around 5 hours of riding, we finally reached Singapore. So alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video where we share our express trip to these 3 destinations in West Malaysia. See you on the next video. Bye bye.